What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the Makeup Geek Power Pigments. I cannot wait for this freaking video. I couldn't wait for them to get here so I can dig into them and use them and give you all my feedback. You guys know, and if you've been around here for a while, this is my wheelhouse. I love colorful eye looks, so I'm very excited to bring this to you. Hope you enjoy this little slideshow so that you can see some of the looks created being featured on Makeup Geek's website and their Instagram. I thought they were really beautiful and I wanted to share them. Maybe it will inspire you guys to pick up a shade or two or something that you would want to recreate. And if you do, I beg of you, please tag me in it. I want to see it because I love anything that has to do with bright eyeshadow looks. As always, I know I say this in every video, but the swatches will be up nice and close to the screen so you can see them. And I always have my lighting adjusted so that what you see is exactly what I see in person. And I will include the swatches from the brand's website as always so you can see how they market the shades. Normally they don't ever match. So I like you to see what you're really getting as opposed to what it looks like in a print advertisement or a video advertisement or an enhanced swatch. I never use primer or anything like that on my skin. It's a bare, clean surface. And I just wanted to let you guys know that so you know exactly what you're getting here. There is a giveaway as always. Stay tuned to the end to find out how to win, and stay tuned to the end to see who won my last giveaway. This week's giveaway are two shades from the Makeup Geek Press Power Pigments. And I chose a pink and a red because I feel it's important that everybody have a nice true red in their collection. And I thought the pink would be really, really pretty for spring. So without further ado, let's get into these bad boys because I cannot wait any longer. Okay, so there are 10 pigments. You can purchase them individually for $9 a piece, or you could buy it in a bundle. I chose to buy it in a bundle, but in the bundle you get the following items. First, you get this beautiful holographic Makeup Geek makeup bag, which is really nice and has a really nice amount of room in there. So that was cool, and I can always use a makeup bag. Then you also get a Z palette-esque Makeup Geek magnetic palette, which has the soft touch matte, and it's lined. The trim is like a titanium chrome. It's beautiful, and the magnetization in these are great. I already have one. And you get the 10 pigments. So without further ado, let's get into these swatches, and stay tuned to the end because I am going to compare them. I've been seeing a lot of videos of people comparing these to Sugar Pill and other brands, and I want to talk about that a little toward the end and show you a more affordable option and a more expensive option. I've noticed they've been compared a lot to Sugar Pill, and I didn't necessarily think that was fair, and I'll get into that later. Without further ado, because I cannot wait any longer, we're going to get into these swatches right now. The first shade up is Unleashed, and this is the pink. And as you can see, they are a little powdery. They're very soft, so you don't really need to dig into these too much. They pick up quite a bit of product, and as I said, they are a pigment, so you don't need so much, but I am doing that just for the purpose of the swatch. And this shade is one of the shades in the giveaway. Okay, and up next we have Untouchable, which is also in the giveaway. This is their red, and I have used these on my eyes. So just so you know, it is a true review, and I'll let you know my thoughts on these. Next, we have a beautiful plummy purple called Dedicated. Next, we have Courageous. Next, we have Tenacious. Transform. Next, Indestructible. This is Invincible. There's a little grittiness to it. Here we have Dynamic. immense potential. So there you have all 10 shades. They're very beautiful, very pigmented. And let's get into my thoughts. Okay, so I've used these in several looks, and what I will say is, if you remember the Subculture palette, I would apply them in a more similar manner. They're by no means the texture of the Subculture palette, but they're similar in the fact where you just need a little bit. Just a little tap of the brush, and I'm going to show you that right now. This is a Luxie brush. It's clean, and this is the Luxie 229, and just show you how much product you want to pick up. I'm just going to slightly tap, okay? You can see the kick up, and if you go a little harder, it will come up a little. But the amount of product you get is insane. So what you want to do is make sure you just tap it ever so slightly and pick up a very small amount of product and build if you want to have a more vibrant color. But you want to treat these very gently. They're not an eyeshadow, they are a pigment. So you want to tap the product down onto your base and get it on there. And then you want to blend out, or else you're going to have a mess. So keep that in mind when you're using these. Stamp the product on to the consistency and vibrancy that you want, and then blend it out. And as you can see, they blend out absolutely beautifully. There's no issues with blending. And they don't lose their color, which I prefer. Sometimes with pigments, you can blend them out to nothing, except a very bright, vibrant dot where you placed it. These lay down nice, but they do blend out beautifully. So I do like that, and I find that to be very unique to a pigment. So I really, really like this formula. So here's something else that I wanted to show you. I've noticed in a lot of videos, people are comparing these to Sugar Pill. So I will say they are similar. Yes, they're similar. However, these are pigments, these are eyeshadows. And I don't necessarily think it's fair to compare them to one another because they're entirely separate formulas. An eyeshadow is not the same as a pigment. And I don't think it's fair to compare them in that regard. In my opinion, it's like comparing a liquid lipstick to a bullet type lipstick. They're both a lipstick, but they're not the same. I hope that makes sense. So what I wanted to show you, and so you have an idea of the comparisons, these are Sugar Pill eyeshadows. They are $10 in a pan, 13 or 12 in the compact. You do get more product. These are 2.2 grams, I believe. I'll leave it up on the screen, and I believe these are 3.5 grams. This is what they look like as far as size, so you can see that as well. Yeah, you'll get more product with these, and don't get me wrong, I love my Sugar Pill eyeshadows. I have every color. I love them a lot. But when you go to the website, they're never in stock. I feel like they're really hard to get. I've had these for quite some time. I just checked, and a bunch of the vivid colors are not available. They're still out of stock. I haven't looked to purchase them recently because I do have a lot, and so I don't know how often they restock, but just keep that in mind. I don't know that any of these shades will be available. I don't have an exact dupe for this one, but I do know that Kimchi is pretty spot on, and that was in stock last time I checked if you wanted to dupe that. So yes, $10 in the pan itself, and then 12 or 13 in the component. And I will show you some side-by-sides. This shade is called Flame Point. So where one is a little more red-orange, the other one is a more vivid, on the more true orange, I'll say. And what I want to show you is how they blend out. As you see, you have to work with these a bit, okay? You can see a little line of demarcation right here. So you really have to work with these. Do they blend beautifully? Yeah, they do, absolutely. I love them. But the way these blend, I find to blend better. And without losing the opacity or the vibrancy of the pigment. And that's one of the reasons I love this one, I think, a little more. no matter how much you blend them, it seems no matter how much you blend them, it doesn't lose the vibrancy. Whereas this one faded quite a bit, and this one held more true to being a pigment. So that's just one little difference. I hope it shows up well on camera. I will show you some comparisons of more shades. This is a very popular shade from Sugar Pill. This is Butter Cupcake. And as you can see, it is a much more neon than Potential. So to compare them and which one's more vibrant, I didn't think was fair, and I did see that in a few videos. They're not the same shade whatsoever, so to dupe them next to each other and say that one is more vivid, didn't really think was giving it a fair shot. So I'll show you them next to each other. This is Butter Cupcake. And that's Potential. So I wouldn't say that this is less opaque, per se. It's just a fainter shade of yellow. So to compare them together, I wanted you to see them together, but I didn't want you to be misled if you saw the comparison being made in another person's video, as if this isn't opaque or it's too sheer. It's just a lighter, paler shade of yellow, and that's why this one looks more vibrant. This is Dolly Pop. And again, this is more neon. This is more neon than the pinks and purples in the Makeup Geek. So I don't think these are fair comparisons that I've been seeing everywhere. As you can see, the difference in how neon Sugar Pill is. It is neon pink, you know, and these are not neon. So just keep that in mind too when you're watching videos. I want to give them a fair shake, and they're beautiful, and I didn't think that it was okay to compare them, because to me they're not. If they were dupes, I'd say fine, but they're not dupes. So, you know, there may be a few in here that dupe each other, like these two blues are similar, but you can see there's a richness to this blue, whereas this blue has a more royal blue. Now, this is the green one. This is Midori, and I found these to be the closest in shade. And again, this one is still a little bit more rich, but to compare them, or dupe them per se, I want you to see them next to each other. So this is Makeup Geek, and this is Sugar Pill. So as you can see, they're more similar, and I think Makeup Geek holds their own when it comes to a shade that's very close in tone. And the other thing I wanted to show you is more affordable options. This is the NYX Bright Palette. I got it for $17.99 at Ulta, and it's still available. I checked. And if you're interested in these but don't want to go for 90 bucks or 70 bucks, I thought this was a fantastic option. This is a beautiful palette. I use it all the time. It's very buttery. It's very creamy and smooth. It's packed with pigment, and you certainly would not be wasting your money with this guy. Okay, so they are very beautiful. I'll show you the yellow so you have an idea what it looks like next to the other two. They are a little more dusty, they're more powdery, and there is a little bit of chalkiness to them, but they're fine. And then, on the higher end, you have the Viseart Editorial Palette, which is $80. And these are, I would say these are in my top 3 shadows of all time, not just brights, but of all time. They make, to me, some of the best shadows I've ever used. Just to give you an idea of the pigmentation in this guy is unbelievable. And the last option I want to show you is that NYX, if you don't want the palette and there's just 1 or 2 shades that you're interested in, NYX does sell them individually. So you can, I only bought 2 because I've had so many, I didn't find it necessary to buy as many, but I will show you a swatch of the individuals as well. And the shade here is called Electroshock. And this is Sugar Pill. And this is the Makeup Geek. Just so you have an idea, there are other options out there. I wanted you to be aware of them, and I wanted you to be aware of the difference between this formula and other formulas if you see it being compared to one another. that completes this video. Stay tuned for last video's giveaway. I have another haul coming up for you guys, but it's an affordable haul. There's a lot of items from Elf and Hush, and there's going to be a lot of giveaways in my next video. I think there's like 4 or 5 things I'm giving away. So please look out for that. Share this video, subscribe if you aren't already. I love you guys. Thanks for watching again as usual, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.